like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, that when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okie dokie. We're back. So this is part 2. Part 1 was making this. I have begun putting a what I want in the end to be a golden apple. So far I don't like it. It's just too yellow. It looks like it could be a sun. So I'm going to come up with some other way to ensure that this is an apple. I will probably use some pre-felt, or I'm just going to make leaves, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we will be working on the needle felting of this before it's attached to what's going to become the background. I decided I wanted a nice blue sky. We don't have any blue in this, so, get another primary in there. Primary color. Now, while I do this, this is bigger than my space, so it's got to be done Oh no, it's a first for me, so we're going to find out how it... I'm just hoping not to end up with a bulb full of water in my lap. Okay, let's start moving that water into the fiber, especially at the edges. The edges are really more of an overrun, but because there's so much shrinkage, I want to make sure that if this shrinks too much for my frame, I will have extra, you know, to make it work. Now I've got to be extra careful. I did use quite a bit of bamboo and silk. I'm pretty sure I've laid down enough wool to keep everything in place during the shrinking process. But a very, very thin layer, because I want the other fibers to migrate to the front very easily. Now, the fringe, right there, come on, fringe. I'm literally on a frame. I'm going to have to remove that. That's how I was measuring where I was laying out my wool. Because this is the frame it's going to go into when it's complete. Let's go ahead and remove that. Since we're going to need the towel to absorb the water. Did I get water in there, or was that already? Well, it doesn't matter, because that's going to be taken apart. Stay in place. Okay, and we're just going to have to kind of roll that over to get the rest of this, for which we have more plastic. Now this is warm water, not hot, kind of lukewarm. I added some hot water to cold water. This His table sits in front of the air conditioner. It's amazing how much you use. We've got an entire bowl of water now. That's why we've got towels on hand to mop it all up after it's done its work blending the natural fibers. Now this is slow fashion, although actually this is not fashion, it's art piece. Fast fashion is oil-based fashion, literally. It uses oil to be created, but most of it ends up in the landfill within 2 years. A lot of it within days. It's really, really pathetic. But what's really, really sad about it is when you buy clothes, sometimes you have to have clothes, right? And young people especially want to be in their coolest fashions for their age. You know, I can understand that too. But when you think about what we're really doing to ourselves in the long run, all the problems we keep adding to, we really need to examine our choices. Now, if I had discovered wet felting when I was young, I would have an entire wardrobe done with silk and wool and bamboo. Gotta get more water. I think we can probably coax some of that down this direction. But what I do need is that. Not you. Come here. You have to get the air out. Now this is a beautiful Corriedale wool from Pennsylvania. Now this is risky business. I need the plastic. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, excuse me, I need water. Sometimes I'm not sure if I get it, what I'm looking for. That was a little dark piece of I don't know what. And there's another one. I was brought up where you do not slurp. You do not make sounds when you eat or drink. And then this guy had a bunch of us kids had root beer floats and just enjoy using the straws and making noise with them. We got to the nice foam at the bottom of the glass. Well, this is quite wet. We'll have to take some of that water out soon, but first we want to make sure that everything is on its way to being firmly felted, because we're going to have to get it a little assertive with it. It's easier if you have one solid piece, but the biggest solid piece I have at the moment is what I'm working on top of, so SOL, as we used to say. Luckily, the ends felt very quickly. Thinner. They're just free to felt with themselves. There's our full 3 layers there. Now, my friend and I are going to the farm tomorrow. I'm so excited. And we're going to be able to look at locally gathered and grown natural fibers. You sit there for a minute, will you? Thank you. So I know what this farm is most known for is alpaca, lamb's wool. I'm saying lamb's wool just to differentiate the wools. It's sheep's wool, like all of this. Now, it's really risky to be working on this side of it. As soon as I'm able to absorb some of the water from it, I am going to have to flip it and work from the back, because it's too disruptive to all of the other fibers that are hiding under this layer. So if you see green right now here, you're seeing the silk. And up here, we've got light blue. Yeah, look at that. We got petals. I am... is that a... I'm trying to see. What do I have there? I am going to go get a sponge. A couple of sponges. Because they are really good at lifting without grabbing the fibers. Yeah, you can see. But it's good and soapy. So I'm not going to need to add more of that. Let's keep that from dripping onto my floor. Yep. I guess I already did drip some on the floor because I just tracked it into the rest of the studio. I'm wearing socks. I can certainly afford to lift some of this off. Let's see, towel, oh, there they are. These have already done duty to take up some of this. I'm using a towel, it's a little riskier. Little purple shimmer there. Oops, sorry. Hate hitting the microphone while people are listening. Okay. More wet towels on a rainy day. It's times like this I miss having my dryer and washer. Okay, let's go for it. We're going to want a little more soap, it feels like. So the only good way to do this is to soap it on your hands. At this point, it might drag, so it's a little gentler this way. I'm looking forward to trying the alpaca wool blends. That's we're going to get some of tomorrow. Grab lunch while we're out, unless we leave after lunch. Now my friend, whom I'm going with, she wants to make a bag for her sister for her birthday. Now she's only done one small wet felting project, but if I'm there to guide her, she can take a bigger project on, because I can catch what needs to be done before she makes a mistake. The problem is figuring out size, because you have to account for shrinkage and all that. And there are formulas. I'm more like, I'm going to make the template for her. She wants a front fold that comes to a point. And I had one outright fail on that. And then one, that's okay. It almost worked. But I had synthetic wool that I thought was real wool, and that messed things up. Couldn't use it. But I was making just a little clutch for myself, and she wants to make something bigger. Okay, I'm already starting to see some shrinkage. Just cool. So let's make sure of it so I can move on to the rest of this. A little too much water. Hey, Doc. Aloha. Hey, guess what? I downloaded the Hawaiian language on my phone for the Google Translate. It's supposed to take the English and read it out loud in Hawaiian. Now, I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Haven't tried any of them that way, but we'll find out. I was going to send you a note in, just the translation, but I didn't have time. All right. lot of K's. Oh, for the language. I noticed that when I was there. But, I noticed that when I was in a Bible study class where people spoke in tongues, everybody who is speaking had their own, well, like some people used, their messages came through with a lot of K's, a lot of sh's and ch's and h's, and just depended on who was talking. So I think it doesn't surprise me that an island where you've got people living close together in clans and groups, you would develop a language that would have a sound that is common. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm expressing myself well today. I only made one important call today, and that was really just to catch a city official up on what went down at the meeting. But I just have had too much of a headache to deal with anything else. So I took the weekend off. Back to business on Monday, just like everybody else. Now, we have a resident advisor. She's a lovely woman. She studied photography, I think, and actually was a professional doing something for a newspaper for a while. But she wanted something more in the humanities, so she got training to work a HUD program in places like this where there's a high percentage of seniors, senior resident advisor, or resident senior advisor. Where did I put that? I'm looking for my tweezers. Did a little black schmutz there that's got to go. Yeah. Yeah, that was happening. Oh gosh. I've been part of several Bible study groups, so I'm trying to remember which where, Time passes. And I wasn't going as a member of their group because my beliefs are very different from what they were all into, but I was observing, and I was there with an open mind to see where they were at spiritually, basically. In the end, it was definitely not for me. But when people connect with spirit, you can do that in so many different ways. There's no limit. We're still exploring that. I found the fastest way to connect is joy. You get your best ideas when you're happy and joyful and spontaneous and loose. And that's when you get inspired in all directions. Sometimes when we have an inspiration, we think it's all about ourselves. Suddenly you get an urge to do something, and it's strong enough that you follow it. Like, I think I'm going to go take pictures of the tide coming in tonight. And it's just something that feels good. And you decide you go, and you happen to be there just at the right time for another photographer to use you as the model. Now, here you may have thought you were out there or being called to something for you specifically, but actually you are a co-creator. We're all co-creators. We're all in this together, which is why so many people have a problem with that. They say, yeah, we're all together, but I want to control you. I want to make decisions for you. I want to tell you how to reach spirit or be right with spirit. Whatever word you want to use. Consciousness. Yeah, I had almost an argument with somebody today because he's got some Portuguese heritage, and we were talking about the origins of slavery, of which Portugal was to blame for a good deal. It didn't start there. It started in Spain, importing people for free labor and uprooting them from their lives wherever they could find them. But it was a king in Portugal who asked someone who was able to write a book about how bad, useless, or stupid, subhuman Black people were in Africa, to justify them stealing them. And not just Africa. Now, this guy was trying to get defensive, and I was like, you don't have to be defensive about things that happened hundreds of years before you. But that is part of the history. You know, you can count your history just from a couple hundred years ago, but you're not responsible for what people did in your bloodline somewhere. I had no control over what my family did. Or didn't. The point of history is to see what sucked in it and try not to do it again. Learn from it, change directions, change approaches. Our senator announced today that they are trying to pass a $25 an hour minimum wage because we can. This is the richest country in the world, supposedly. Where's all that money going to? So there's, of course, always going to be someone who objects. They don't want to pay better wages, but you can't argue better wages when you are a multi-billionaire. You own multiple yachts and islands, and you can afford to have a $50 million wedding. Sorry, man. You can't deprive the rest of humanity just because you want to have more money than you can ever spend in a lifetime. People need to eat. We have social nets, social safety nets, like SNAP food benefits, HUD to help with housing. We have them because we were underpaid and there was no money when we needed it because who knew it was going to be this expensive to live. I just got a grocery order, stuff that I bought 2 weeks ago. My kimchi went up $2.50. $2.50 for one container. It went up. It's now $7 and change. And that wasn't the only thing. So, yeah, we have definite challenges. But there's stuff that we can do something about if we just stop being lazy assholes. This pisses me off right here. I like these eggs. I was buying these eggs. But suddenly, they go from pulp paper the pulp paper industry, there is an industry, they tore up the Carolinas and planted loblolly pines and talked a whole bunch of landowners into planting loblolly pines so that they could harvest them every 15 years, feed them to a chip mill to create pulp. And now these people are doing this in plastic, which means I'm never buying their eggs again. I'm not going to buy eggs that can use the pulp, which is a really good container, for these flimsy, hard for old hands or clumsy hands to handle once you open it because it's flimsy. You have to double it up just so you've got something strong enough to put it in your refrigerator. So first of all, they're not making an improvement. It just looks prettier. And they can put this nice color flyer stuck inside, which, by the way, if it's coated, it's not recyclable. But the big thing about the plastic containers, they're made with oil. We need to be aware of all the things made out of oil and see where we can start substituting or just don't use it. I don't want this Amish farm type of egg person to be bullshitting the world. We've got cage-free, farm-fresh brown eggs. Yeah, we know what that means because we've got the internet and we've seen realities. But to put it in plastic, that's just adding insult to injury. We don't mind if you bullshit us a little bit for your prices, but you start upping the prices because you're using an oil-based product to carry your eggs into produce stores. No, thank you. So I'm sorry, Noah. Noah's pride. I'm not proud of you anymore. You are now a contributor to the system that is helping kill America. And goodbye. And that's my soapbox speech for today. I got a delivery from grocery store. That's what started the whole thing. I got 2 dozen because I found out that a few of my neighbors are out of food. They're out of food and they're not getting any kind of money until the 3rd of the month. The idea of these old people going without food angers me more than I can express. So I had a little money left in my account, so I ordered some stuff I can share. So bingo night is Monday, and that's the absolute end when nobody's got money at all. I ordered some chicken wings because 2.5 pounds makes one nice tray. I'm going to make chicken wings and an angel food pineapple cake. Now, I already got the warning. People don't really like plain barbecue sauce. Like, okay, neither. I'm not big on that either. I got sick of that in the 80s. And I'm not going to make it hot because that'll freak pretty much everybody out. But especially people who are on chemo or recuperating from cancer, the treatments can make you very, very sensitive to smells and tastes. So no spicy stuff. So I guess I'm going to end up doing something like a honey glaze. I've got a ton of honey. Good honey. And after they're cooked, I'll take a few out for myself that I can put hot sauce on. And I don't know what to make as another side. I know one woman who lives down the hall, she grew up with a very Italian family. A lot of beans, a lot of lentils. She hates both of them. The sight of them, the smell of them, anything that looks like or smells like a bean. She's like, ugh. So I don't know what to do to help with that. So I mean, chicken wings and cake is all I can provide. Okay, those are starting to show a little shrinkage, but not enough. Let's return to the Oh yeah, it's got to go the other way now. You can see how it's starting to act like a fabric. All the gentle motion is just helping the fibers interlock. Wool fibers have little scales on them, or barbs. And they're very attracted to each other. Now, I'm trying to get used to using something this wide because the scarf, the 100-year scarf, 100-year-old scarf. Yeah, every 100 years I come back and just make this scarf that's absolutely fabulous, darling. It's not quite this wide, but I have to have that kind of room, obviously, to work it. And I'll be doing it downstairs on a table, because I'll need the full length of the table. My friend and I will actually be using 2 tables when we do our projects. And I am psyched to show her, you know, different ways to do this. She has problems with her hands. Sometimes the needle felting is too much effort for the wrist. She's already broken one and has taken falls and braced herself with the other, so her wrists are kind of worn out. I love tea. Tea on a gray, rainy day. You know what? We have a deal with our maintenance guy that he brings a hose for us every Friday so we can water our garden so it's ready for get through the weekend. And today it rained, so he didn't have to do it. Looks like it might still rain. We've got a lot of clouds. All right, I need to flip it over. And it looks like it is felted enough to do that. But the edges are very fragile, so I don't want to lift from that. Well, you need it too, right? We definitely need it. For some reason, our area, rain just skirts around us like a little boom, like a cat's eye. Yeah, things are getting roasted. I hope our friends in Europe are all right. They're under the heat dome right now. Oh, we got a hole there. It's all right. I'm surprised it's there, though. I must have overstretched it. It's the edge. Okay. We can fix that after it's all dried. You're off. Get back on the middle. Now, all of this is stuff that may end up getting cut off anyway, so that's why I'm not really concerned about it. I do not have a bamboo mat large enough for this. Soap is slippery. I'm wiping off my hands so I can sip my tea. That is so good. I can't hold the cup long enough. My fingers, I have the soap embedded in my skin right now. What are you doing? My watch changed its face. That usually means I leaned on it. There we go. Got my face back. I need big letters, big numbers. There is a study about bird watching and how beneficial it is to the brain. More than walking by yourself, bird watching. People who are into bird watching have less chances of developing dementia, which is bizarre, but I'll take it. I used to love watching birds. Always had a feeder out. I hear ya. Same here. I had to do the towels because of all the ones that soaked up my spilled tea. So I got a couple nightgowns and pairs of socks done with that. But I still have my daily clothes that need. But I kind of had enough for today of being around people. And tomorrow I'm going to go out to the farm. And that might be all I need of humans too. I don't know. Maureen is very nice company. I like her. She's really smart. And she gets humor. She can pick up on things a lot of people don't. But she got her laundry done today. It was a busy washroom today. So I don't think Saturday is any better. But we'll see how I feel tomorrow. I can get away with another few days without doing it. Got enough nightgowns and socks. As long as I got that, I'm good. Also, I got all my dresses. Most of them. Dare I look at this? Maybe I should do this for another few minutes. Since I can't do it all at once like I usually work small. Now I'm guessing the farm's fibers are going to be mostly natural colors. But that's okay. I can always order the specialty colors to lay over things. Oh, yeah, when you want to keep things clean, for sure. You don't want to be bringing spores of this or that into your garden. Hot water. Oh, management gave me permission to give a class in growing your greens inside. see, some apartments have virtually no light or really no space. But if you want to do like broccoli sprouts, I don't even think you put them in the sun until the last day, and they're ripe in 3 days. So some stuff is really fast. You don't take all day. So but the thing is that, especially when you're older, you need to clean your seeds because you don't know what was on them. Well, if you have organic seeds, you don't have to worry about pesticides, but you still have to worry about pathogens. You don't know what else is in that seed. So they recommend soaking your seeds for 15 minutes in a solution of either vinegar and water or baking soda and water. They do two completely different things. So if you have like peas from the grocery store that you want to sprout, you want to do the 2-stage because they most certainly have been exposed to pesticides in this country, especially. So you get the pesticide residue soak first. You rinse them really well with plain water, and then you do another soak with the other one to remove the pathogens, or kill them. So it's important to know those things, especially if you're going to grow in the summer when things are more likely to get moldy. Also, sometimes people mistake the little rootlets that look like fuzz to be mold when it's just the root system is super small and fine. Anyway, I've got permission to do the class. So sometime this weekend, in addition to getting my ducks in a row for helping out the community legally, I get to make a flyer to put up, and then the senior resident advisor will print it out. I will make it very simple so that on one page I can say it in Spanish and Haitian. I already downloaded the languages to reinterpret. Also, I'm planning on doing a cheat sheet for everybody so they've got something to refer to after the class, because it's only going to be one class. Now, some people have access to YouTube, and then I can refer them to certain people for simplified growing. But a lot of the people here have no clue how to access it from their own homes, and a few do not have modems, so they have sparse plans, mostly for emergency phone calls. All right, let's take a look at the decorative side, see how it's doing. I am not seeing it enough. I see the silk here, the green coming through the blue. And, okay, here it is. Here's the white. It's actually a super pale blue silk. But I want the aquamarine bamboo to come forward. Okay, we're going to palm it. Now, this particular wool, you would not want to make a garment out of it if it's the side touching your skin. Corriedale is a little bit rough for that, but it's also, it's a warm wool, so it's a good thing you can build on. But if there's going to be something on your body, merino is the way to go, or merino with something else. Like when I mix the merino with llama, super silky and soft. But llama is has no scales or lanolin like wool does, so it doesn't like to felt well. Still, I made a wonderful sample patch. It's like, this could be very effective and very stylish as a fabric, like to make a bag or something. Feels like it's got enough soap. Let's get the air out. Okay, there's some of this bamboo. That's better. I knew it was under there somewhere. We don't want it to be made invisible by the wool on top. The wool is just to anchor it, really. We want it to shine through from behind. Like right there, we've got the silk from the saris. And let's get a little bit more. Bills, oh yeah. Well, since I was already knee-deep in AI to research how to handle the situation here at the building, I asked a few side questions. And one of them was basically, how do we stop it? How do we stop all the criminality? And one of the surprising answers was addressing businesses like fast fashion. All the stuff made with plastic and then discarded. All this plastic clothes is not good for the environment, and on any level. It's also, right now, it's a terrible time to be making bad use of our resources. It's never a good idea to waste things, but it's gotten ludicrous, just like the egg thing. It's like you set up this whole industry to supply you with the trees to make pulp to get this out, and now oil. Screw you. But one of the things that they are recommending is that people get back to the grassroots of living. Stop investing your money in things that don't pay off for you and your community. You know, think a little outside your own, you know, you have every right to be selfish, but not at the expense of others, the way the billionaires are doing it. So they recommend you learn knitting, crochet, weave, felting, make your own stuff. It lasts longer, has way more value. It can always be upcycled, even a screw up. And you can take pride in it. You know, we have a lot of things that we do as humans that are really the sustainable practices. And as I learned about hair as a tool for weaving, as a fiber for weaving, I wasn't shocked because, you know, over the years you see hair incorporated in all kinds of things. And there was a phase in England where they made, I think, hair wreaths or something in memoriam of the dead person out of the dead person's hair, or some of it. Gardening, what? I have a garden now outside. I've got a big echinacea and a lemon thyme and 3 rosemaries, one a nice size and 2 smaller ones. And they've all taken, so they should do well over the summer. And they're perennials. Oh, yes, absolutely gardening. Absolutely. That's why I'm interested in teaching people how to grow food on their windowsills or the closets. You see how easy it is to get sprouts, right? You can grow your own instead of paying a fortune at the grocery store. We can do self-sufficient things. You don't need a whole yard full of chickens to have enough eggs to supply you and your neighbor. So there's a lot we can do if we just focus on things as a community and think, what can we make here? Instead of having to call oil into the picture. Everything acrylic. Resins made from oil. Like, how much of that is necessary? It's one of the reasons I actually wanted to give up acrylic painting, because it is not good for the environment. And also they found just touching dirt every day is good for your happiness factor, apparently. It's good for your physical health, too, because you are touching things that get inside your body, and some of them are really good for you. Not all. That's why I say don't go barefoot in the garden, because screwworms like humans, too. Know your local enemies before you walk barefoot in the garden. People bring things in the bottoms of their shoes. Okay, I think we are getting some shrinkage. I feel like it's shrinking, aside from me knocking pieces off. You know, it's interesting how all over the country we've kept the old ways alive through tourist attractions. In Massachusetts, for example, there is Sturbridge Village, That is a colonial style cook outside in a big kettle kinds of a little civilization there. It's a little village set up where, people get into the role playing like they are back 200 or 300 years, or I'm going to say about 250 years. Yes, healthy to do for your spirit, healthy to do for your mental health. It's just plain healthy. Getting into nature is the fastest way, isn't it? And when you can't, music. I connect with nature through my windows mostly now, but it's because 6 months out of the year, my view is the treetops. From where I'm sitting, I don't see anything but the trees. Now, if I stand up, I can see the parking lot. But as long as I'm sitting down, it's just green, different kinds of green, and then sky. That makes me extremely happy and at peace. And as I say repeatedly, you've got to get in a good place for those ideas to have room to fill your spirit. Inspiration, connection with self, alignment with your own vortex. I wrote a song many, many, many years ago called The King and the Castle. And it was about a guy I had totally fallen for. And then broke up. I left the state, went to live in the country, left the city. But in the city, he showed me a spot where it was high up, way up there. And if you were on the ground level looking up, you would never see the spot by itself. You just see trees. And there was a big fallen tree, big, that we'd go up there and sit on and look out over the city while the sun was going down. And then before it got too dark, we had to get our butts off the mountain because broken glass and like that. And people at night used to go up there and, do things. So you don't want to be in anybody's way. But it was one of the best places in the city because nobody could see you, nobody could hear you, but you could see everything around. you could watch the sun go down. It was just one of the most enchanting spots. Now I'm afraid they've taken down too many trees, and it's nothing like it was back in the 70s. But it inspired a lot of music, and one song just about that, about going back after years after the breakup, finding the spot, looking at it, remembering, and one of my best songs, actually. Wish I could still sing it. I can't hit those notes anymore. Certainly not with the power I had back then. Oh yeah, that spot was the castle in the story, if that was not evident. The king, of course, was the guy. The gorgeous guy. He looked a lot like Superman, come to think of it. Very much like, actually, like Clark Kent. Same glasses, even. He could have been a stand-in for Christopher Reeves. Not quite, but close. I think we've got it. Nope, not quite. Back you go. Let's roll you up and abuse you some more. There's definite challenge to working big. Or unless you have a big studio. Since I'm into this now, I really miss having more room. That's because I've got no place to put all my paintbrushes, so they're still on my desk here. A lot of them. I looked at a blank canvas on my wall a couple days ago and went, paint. Yes, I do miss it a little. I had to do this, but I'm going to have to put the air conditioning on. I turned it off so it'd be quieter for us, but the sun is starting to come out. wonder if I can kind of felt this with the bamboo a little at a time without tearing it to shreds. Okay, let me get the overhead view. Oops, sorry. Oh yeah, I bet. I bet. All right. I see it coming through. Yeah. Some of the white soap removed. You can see it shrinking beautifully. Ooh la la. Okay. Now this is a bit of a chance. Yeah, see, it's not going to do the whole thing, that's for sure. Well, let's see if we can do part of it. Now this part is going to be probably removed. Matter of fact, where is our... that's going to go in the middle. Oh yeah. We have plenty. That's good. I don't have to worry about this flippy floppy bit here. So I am going to go ahead and remove that, because the rest of it will be easier to felt. So now this is not wasted because it can be used in other projects. It's a big enough piece to be pieces of sky in another wool painting. Come over there. Okay, you go over there and dry. Can I move this? Well, no, it's not going to work that way. I'm going to have to do it half at a time. Without tearing this up somehow. This is what helps the shrinking happen faster, and it'll bring up the fibers from behind a little bit better. Unfortunately, you said that so late, I don't remember what I said. Yeah, this is shrinking beautifully. We're starting to see exactly what I wanted to see. This makes me happy. Now, in my searching for fiber, natural fiber, locally, I came across a little item about a fiber festival, an artisan festival, and also their hand-dyed wools and all that available for sale. Not far from here, sometime in the summer, and it's connected with a farmer's market. It's like, gotta go, gotta go. That's what she said. Nope. Sorry, I'm not getting the joke. Okay, so this is what's going to show the most when this is all put together. This is going to be the frame. All right, this is ready to wash. Get all the soap out of. So we did manage to use this. Be nicer to have one that is the size I like. But then you're talking a lot more money. I think I came across one, but it was over $30. It's like, I'm not making money doing this. But I did get the compliment today that this was professional level and that I would have a market if I wanted. And I said, I know. I've been a professional artist for a good portion of my life. It's just that I'm not professional anymore in terms of accepting money for my work. But how else could I have had a business? Oh. In that case, I got the shrinkage I want. Things get small. But we did get good shrinkage, definitely. Because this was, let's take a look. I took a picture earlier with this just sitting on top of the pile of wool. So let's make this brighter. Okay. So that was a big fluffy sea of wool this morning. And now actually it's upside down, but it's soft and fluffy that was. And all those lighter colors are the silk stuff behind it. Oh, look, I can see myself showing you the photograph. Come back. Oh, I got it now. R. R. Yes, thoughts like that go through my head now and then too. Okay, I defrosted, or it's probably mostly defrosted, a turkey thigh for dinner. And it wasn't so much that I was in a mood to cook a turkey thigh as I was to make rotation in the freezer so you don't end up with everything freezer burned. And when you have a inexpensive little refrigerator, freezer like I have, you just don't want to abandon your food in there because it just turns to blocks of ice. So I decided today is the day. Since I had to be running around, I didn't have to think about it. Just leave it there until I'm ready to cook it. So it's been sitting there and I'll have to address that because once thawed, you cannot do anything but cook it. And Doc, since you're in that silly mood, I won't tell you how many cucumbers I got today. Small ones. A pack of them. I also have a big English one. So I probably should have a salad. But I also got green onions, and I love green onions sauteed, so I'll probably do those. What else? I don't like traditional. This goes with turkey. Turkey's kind of gamey, and I use a lot of seasonings because I get them fresh and dry them myself so that they're not like a year old in a glass bottle. But like, what am I going to do with that as a side? Because I've been kind of also in the mood for beans. The very thing one of my neighbors hates, but I love beans. I find myself loving them more all the time. So, yeah. Oh, and the pea greens, I learned that they're a delicacy in Japan. They grow them like I did to about 6, 7 inches tall. Cut them, throw them last second into a stir fry or on top of a stir fry or at the bottom of a bowl of ramen. You pour that on and it cooks that way. You don't overcook them. They're a delicate and they taste just like green peas, like baby peas. So you're nice and sweet and crisp. So I use them in soup, like ramen. And actually, I get frozen shrimp for my ramen. My favorite ways of having that is like you boil the water, you throw the shrimp in frozen. I peel them first and then throw them in. Throw the noodles in so they cook all together while I'm gathering the vegetables I want to throw in there fresh. Making myself hungry. Now I want ramen with my vegetable ramen with my turkey. Actually, I've got a can of cranberry sauce, and for me, turkey was always an excuse to eat cranberry sauce. I like the cranberry sauce more than I like the turkey. But I made turkeys, well, every year at least once, sometimes twice for Glenn because he loved turkey. So it's like, well, he loves it. Dutiful wife. Make a big sucker so we have leftovers. But one of the things I never liked about, I don't like the smell of turkey cooking until after like the fat is rendered from the skin. That part, I just don't like the smell of that. Once that's done, and it starts to smell good. But mostly what's smelling good, I think, is all the stuff I put inside the turkey. An apple. I like savory turkey, so I don't just use sweet stuff. I throw in celery, apple, onion, garlic. It's just loosely stuffed with herbs and veg. It's nothing that you eat afterwards. It's just to flavor the turkey as it's cooking and keep it from drying out. I don't put stuffing in it. I know some people do, but then there's concerns about how much other stuff it's absorbing and whether it's cooking all the way through or not. If you pack it too tightly, it doesn't cook correctly. So I do stuffing, but I put that outside. I do that separately in a pot. And I've come to really enjoy that anyway. It's fast, it's easy, it's not really no mess. It's nice and hot in a pot until you're ready to put it on your plate. Maybe I'll do that. I have a box of stuffing. I have just talked myself into using that. Okay, so what am I going to do? I have fresh broccoli. Have you tried the radishes yet? Frying the radishes in your frying pan? I did it again. It's really good. It's like little soft potatoes. Like, don't taste like radishes anymore. Cooking them like a little potato cube just takes the bite out of them. The pink turns purple, which is a good sign. So, I mean, it's a really healthy thing to do. We're just not used to eating them cooked. I guess they do in some countries, and they're used to that, and it's not a big deal. And for us, every time we discover these things, it's like brand new and shocking. Like we were talking to Julian the other day with him poor in Germany with the heat wave, that poor young man. He feels about them the same way I did until I actually tried it. I could not get myself to take the advice of a friend in my club who was growing them down in Louisiana. He liked them so much he ended up like tripling how many bunches he was planting because he found they're really good. He likes them baked. He likes like people the same way people do Brussels sprouts in the oven or cabbage. Oil it, bake it, yummy. He did that kind of thing with the radishes. But I had the same kind of feeling like that's a salad green. That's a salad thing for crunch and spice. I'm glad I finally got through my prejudice and tried it because it really is very delightful. And so easy to cut and clink as compared to a potato. You don't have to peel it. It's very easy to cut. No radishes. They like cool weather, so I don't know how they would do in Hawaii. The ones I have, I've never seen them this big. A red globe But a lot of stuff is like, oh, you need the right circumstances to grow them really large, like loose soil. They like sandy soil. And then there's no objection to just spreading out. They get big and the greens are edible. It's like, how did I not know all this about radishes when I was on the farm? Because nobody else ever thought about eating the radishes. Well, I planted some daikon, the long white ones. Apparently they can be huge, but mine did not get like that. I was planting them specifically all around my squashes, my summer squash, because blister beetles love to just completely defoliate your plants. So we found that they don't like radishes, so we just plant them around the plant so that they're growing in with the roots of the other, and it helps with avoiding certain pests. But because I was only growing them to protect the other part of the garden, it never occurred to me to eat them. I left them in there for so long. You need a lot of dirt. Well, how are you putting it out? You're saying, I need a lot of dirt. That keeps you in a place of needing a lot of dirt. You have to rephrase that in your head. You've got to re-envision it. Go back to the drawing board. You're getting what you want, not enough dirt. We are very backward, not understanding the energy aspect of creation. So it takes work to refocus. And if you're looking at what you don't like, you're helping that manifest further. You don't want that momentum. So stop looking at what you don't like and look at what you like. So see your garden having everything it needs. Imagine what it would look like. Imagine the crops you could get. Don't worry about how it's going to come to you right now. The universe can take care of it when you're clear on that's what you want. I want my garden to have this. I want it to be satisfied. I want a little compost bucket so I can make compost for my plants or whatever. Come up with whatever it is that would make your garden perfect for you and see it in your head as, this is what I want. This is what I'd like. This is what I'd be grateful for. This is what I can appreciate. No other words. Don't talk yourself out of it as you're trying to get it, the attraction going. No. You've got to understand, it's you that's getting the dirt for you. So you don't ask yourself and say please, because you're the one making the request, but the request is vibrational. So instead, I would suggest thinking about how the garden will look when you have enough dirt. Do you have a number in mind of how many wheelbarrows full? Can you envision it, how much you actually need, rather than just leaving it up as an unknown quantity? What would it look like if you had 3 wheelbarrows full? Imagine somebody pulling up and saying, where would you like us to dump it? Catching on? A scenario of you getting what you want delivered, magically appearing, people bringing buckets over. However, as you have to see that dirt in your garden, the amount that you want. So come up with a figure. But you're asking yourself, we're connected with everyone. So when you are putting that out there, I would like to have more dirt, please. You're just saying you need more power, more electricity to power your toaster. So good, there you go. See it in your mind how you want it to be. Don't worry about how it gets there. Be clear on what it is you desire and enjoy the vision and alter the vision in your mind's eye. Play with it. This is your little playground, right? Like in the Matrix, we have the uploading platform, right? And you see all this stuff coming on, and then you just take what you want. Well, the creation is like that. So see what you want. Don't worry how it's delivered. The Matrix will manage. The last time we did this, it wasn't 2 days before somebody stopped by your garden from the other side of the island and ended up bringing you stuff. Taking pictures of the garden in uniform. Did he recognize what the uniform was? Well, you got a base in Hawaii. People do go off base and look around things. Your garden is doing well. But if they were in uniforms, it wasn't the people who own the property. Like, this is what you can do with this little plot of land. Well, oh, well, if that's true, oh, that would make sense. That way, there can't be any false claims. You had some vandalism in your garden before, did you not? You had people camping out inside your garden. So they may be taking it for the records to show this is how it's supposed to be, and anything that changes is potential, I guess, vandalism. We're talking about getting more security here. We had some crazy person freak out in our vestibule with the, we've got the security doorway. So you got your open doorway that everybody gets into with, and then you get the consoles for dialing the apartment so that you can get let in to the second doorway. This guy was, I guess, having some kind of fit where he was going to look like he was going to break both doors down. And there's a camera looking right out the thing there that you put the code in, but it shows people's backs. It doesn't show the front of them at all. It's like, what the hell good is this? This is like the most useless camera setup I have ever seen. I guess not completely, because it'll show if you're walking and it shows you, but if you turn your back even a little bit, nobody can see you. So I don't know what's going to happen. But apparently over last weekend, there was some violence around here, damage done to the property. There was some garbage dragged around. Now, I do not know anything about anything like that. That was brought up at the meeting. I had no clue any of that had happened, but it's possible the vandalism was caused by a tenant who was very angry about the compactor issue that we're going to try to resolve. And I mean, I understand the anger, but I don't understand the vandalism. I don't approve of it or support it in any way. We have to be able to get our points across legally and sanely without causing damage to our own environment. We're trying to turn this into a real community where we can support each other. And considering what Trump just did, it took off the temporary protections for our Haitian and Somalian immigrants. And I'm really upset about that because we have wonderful Haitian people in this building. And they can't go back to Haiti. Haiti's worse off now than it was when they fled it. So I'm really concerned about that. We have so much evil in our government. And Miller, his secret plot to kill all the seniors. It's like, you're useless to the Republic anymore. You're old. Fuck off. So, yeah, we have evil in the government. I mean, outright evil. Exactly. Locks on your door are for honest people. That was an adage when we were growing up. Locks just keep honest people honest. Because if you really want in, you will find a way. Oh, I know what happened. Somebody trashed our bathroom. We have a community bathroom on the ground floor. Somebody got in and they trashed it really, really badly. Now, I never use it because I've got my own bathroom. And when I was down over the weekend to water plants, there was no, well, I didn't hear anything. And we certainly didn't see any strangers or going in using the bathroom. So we don't know when it happened because we don't have cameras on that part of the building. Actually, I put in requests for that like 3 times, saying we need something to watch the bathroom and mailbox area because we have people abandoning packages there. So they're not doing it. No cameras, but maybe after the bathroom incident, maybe they'll reconsider. For a while, they had to lock the kitchen and the bathroom on the weekends because of vandalism. It's like, who is letting these people in? And if they live here, what the hell? So, yeah. Now, we do have some people here who are not all here. I have never witnessed any of them freaking out or causing problems. I mean, I know that a few of them absolutely did and caused police to be called and everything else, but I've not witnessed any of that. So if you're not an actual witness to a crime, keep your mouth shut. All right? But we have things stolen, and they're supposed to deliver all packages to the doors of the people who ordered that item. But now, because apparently some of the delivery people are getting less room to do that, less time to do that before they're clocked out automatically from their businesses, so they don't get paid for, I don't know, loafing around on the hallways. It's just basically screwing the workers, but it's making them to where they don't want to deliver everything to, when you go to a multi-unit building. It's not just a door, it is 100 doors that you have to deliver to. Anyway, the sun is peeking out. I'm glad it's the end of the day. Not end enough, but plenty of time for me to decide what I'm cooking. Definitely gonna do the turkey cranberry sauce. I'll see what I've got. Oh, that's right. I decided on stuffing. Yeah, we'll do some turkey stuffing. I have a bunch of delicious, really citrusy sage. I got a good batch of it from the grocery store, fresh, and immediately set to dry in it on a very, very low temperature. And it's perfect. Bay leaves, too. I've got some awesome bay leaves, although that will not be used in tonight's food. What else could I throw in there? I don't know. I'm getting hungry talking about it, and I really want to wash this and see how it came out, because I won't really see it well until it soaks in hot water for a while. It'll shrink a little more, get all the soap out, and have a vinegar wash so it brings the vibrancy back to the wool. A whole chicken, yum. Now see, whole chicken is a big savings. I buy, depending on how much room I've got, I buy a whole chicken because it's got a lower per pound price. And I've got kitchen scissors and I cut it all up. And I end up with a carcass that I save to make broth. So I've got a couple of chicken carcasses in the freezer saved up for chicken soup. And I just do the legs, the wings, the breasts, and you save a ton of money that way. Once you cook it, you've got 3 days to eat it all. But you've got a cat, so it won't take you that long. I can't believe I took on all the cooking for Monday, but it's necessary. I don't know what else I could do with them. Be nice if they were nice and, I don't know, baked, and then I had, I don't know, a bed of something else that could go with chicken wings. I could make a big pot of rice. I know they like rice. I'll have to think about it. I've got 48 hours. Sounds like a movie. Well, when you have a whole chicken, if it was never frozen and your cat gets a hold of a bone, don't panic. If it's been frozen, panic. Frozen bones are brittle and dangerous, but raw chicken is not. If the chicken was never frozen, cats can eat some of that. I don't recommend that. You can tell if it's been frozen because the marrow turns black. But I'm sure you'll figure out what to do with that chicken. I'm a dark meat preferer. So I eat those as, the whole leg and thigh together. But the breast, I'm not that big on the breasts. I cook it very well. It's not like all dried out, but overall, I'll eat a piece of it like a breast, but the rest of it I cut up and I turn into chicken salad. So a whole chicken goes a long way. And since you sprout, you've got nice crisp greens to go on a chicken salad sandwich. Now, I don't know about apples in Hawaii because that's a cold weather kind of a tree, but one of the things I discovered that tastes really good in chicken salad is pieces of apple. I've heard people doing grapes, and those are good too, but I like the apple because it's got the freshness and the crunch. What else? Oh, walnuts toasted in a dry frying pan. You just warm them up until you can smell them, and then yummy, yummy. It's the little things. Oh, you will. Of course you will. You're getting better in the kitchen all the time. You learn all these little tricks. Watch some videos, pick up hints. I'm always learning something. And I've got books on the subject. So it's good to play with your food. It was a TV show that turned me on to using thyme fresh thyme with carrots, sauteing the carrots and the butter and olive oil 50-50. You get it all melted and you put your fresh thyme in the butter and oil and to get the fragrance, and it's delightful. I never would have thought of pairing thyme with carrots. I don't know why. It just never crossed my mind. I guess I really haven't had much of an imagination with carrots over the years. They were either raw or I like them baked the best, like roasted with the chicken. I'm cooking a whole chicken, potatoes, carrots, and celery are all going on that. But I got something I have never purchased in my entire life. Flanken. My grandmother used to make it. I don't remember how. I just remember it was really good. I liked it as a child. No clue how to make it, but it turns out there's 2 ways to make it. Thank you, AI. And so I bought a package. It was on sale. So I thought, well, let's try something different. And I'll find out. But not tonight. Tonight, it's turkey. And tomorrow, the world. No, I don't want the world. Thank you. All right, so we're going to turn this into something tomorrow. After this has time to be washed and dried. And then we can come back and play. So, thank you for hanging out with me. I wish you a good rainy day. And you need the rain even more than I do. So, anybody else who is in the rafters watching, have a great afternoon if I don't see you. I will be here over the weekend. I'll be here late tomorrow to show off whatever wool I get at the farm. Aloha!